Hello, welcome to All of the Above podcast by Stride Made. I'm Amy Carlin, your host, founder of Stride Made and Carlin & Co. I wanted to talk about a topic today that might be a bit of a shorter topic, but I think is actually something that a lot of people can relate to, and it's about sobriety while navigating socializing and the work environment. I know a lot of work events all revolve a lot around alcohol and that aspect of socializing. And as someone who has been sober for 3 years now, because of a bipolar diagnosis, me and alcohol probably didn't have the best relationship in the end. And obviously navigating 3 years of medication changes because I had an allergic reaction, it was a very difficult time. So I didn't want another influence regarding alcohol. And I've worked so hard to get where I am in regards to my medication for bipolar that I don't really want to take substances that influence how the medication works, essentially. And I found it actually really hard. I used to go to so many business events all the time, networking, all of those things. And then I found it so hard once I stopped drinking because you would show up, everyone's having a drink, it would make people feel more comfortable. Even going to a charity event, one time I went to one and I remember walking up excited to have a drink on arrival or something, and just like everyone else because it's included in your package or whatnot, and I walk up to the entrance and they have all the alcohol out and I'm like, just a non-alcoholic beverage please, and they're like, oh, we don't have those out yet. So on so many things, they're prepared for the alcohol consumption, but not actually those who don't drink for whatever their reason might be. And if it is because people have had an issue with alcohol, I don't think that's very accommodating. But for me, at least, I am not uncomfortable around alcohol. I can be around alcohol. That is so fine. But I even went to the races once somewhere, and I walk up because the bar's open. They're like, yep, bar's open, including your ticket now, in this marquee. And I went up and I said, oh, can I just have like this soft drink? And they're like, oh, we haven't brought any soft drink over yet. And I was like, okay then, so you have literally 100 cocktails sitting on the bench, but you don't even have a can of Coca-Cola. And it's been a really interesting thing because I've also feel like I've lost a lot of friends, or friends don't hang out with me much anymore because I don't drink, or people say, oh, well, we can't go to here because of this. And I'm like, I'm fine with it. And even on dating apps, my word, I'd be like, let's go for a drink. Well, we can't go for a drink because you don't drink. I can have a Coca-Cola, people. It's been interesting also in the sense of friends. I feel like I don't hang out with people like I used to. And a lot of people I used to hang out with, I probably don't even see anymore because I don't drink anymore. And I feel like it's quite a sad realization. But it's been a great journey for me that I don't ever feel like there is another factor that negatively affects my health or might make me feel not as good the next day when I've got a lot of work to do, or it really became something I relied on a lot to have fun. And I think it also started to impact my work in the fact that I would be hungover and I wouldn't want to do the work, or I would be getting an Uber to work because I was too hungover. And I'm obviously so cautious about driving with any amount of alcohol in my system. I never used to drive even after a few hours like you can. It was something I really avoided. And I knew it was a bit of a problem towards the end when I was okay with having one. And one time I drove people to a restaurant, and then someone else came in a different car, and I had too many drinks that I couldn't drive. So then this person I just met had to then drive me to my car and then drive my car to my house. And that was a moment that I was like, this ain't good, Amy, this is not good. And now we know, because of my bipolar, it's quite an addictive personality, and alcohol became something that made me feel better, but then I was not a good person when I drank. So it's been an interesting thing to navigate, particularly in those work environments, or people also feeling not comfortable to ask questions about it. And I really appreciate when it gets brought up in random conversation when people say, do you mind me asking why you don't drink? And I then find it interesting that people always justify why they do. And I don't think you need to. Just because someone doesn't drink doesn't mean we're judging you for drinking. And I literally don't. I love being around my friends when they drink still, and I know when there's a time or place to leave. I know when, I'm not on their level anymore, and that is fine. And I still don't attend those work events, and I still feel a little uncomfortable. I still don't go to probably a lot of events or races or charity events now because of that. I'm already someone with a lot of food allergies and already tend to eat before I go anywhere, even if I've paid for a ticket that has food, because you know what? It's more than likely that it won't be ideal what's put in front of you, or they would have forgotten. And when it comes to even being able to consume a non-alcoholic beverage and feeling left out, or like you're an inconvenience that you don't want the drink that's sitting right in front of you, is not something that feels great. It almost feels worse than my food allergies, to be honest, because you're trying to do something for the benefit of yourself because you had a bit of an issue, plus you're mentally unwell. And it's just become another factor that, on top of my disability and my food intolerances and all of that, that makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable and like I don't fit in even more. And it'll be in like 2 months, 3 years. And I'm so glad for my personal health, because of all the conditions I have, that I don't drink. And having my tonsils out essentially was what stopped me drinking in the lead up to that surgery. But we discovered that after that, a few months after that, I was diagnosed with bipolar, because we discovered my PTSD triggers my bipolar for a manic depressive episode. And I don't really have any depressive episodes other than when going into surgery. And I was not good. I was not good. And then, so I already kind of like wasn't drinking because of my tonsil surgery. I think I had one drinking session. I think I had one drinking session around my birthday that September. So I had my tonsils out in August. And then, then I was diagnosed and I just stopped drinking. So I was kind of lucky that it was an easy transition. And I used to collect gin. I had like 50 bottles of gin. And I would rebuy the cheaper ones because I actually genuinely enjoyed gin and collecting them and all of that stuff. It was really hard to give up something that I actually enjoyed, identifying that it wasn't helping me and that maybe it wasn't a hobby that I should partake in. So anyways, that's my little ramble about my sobriety journey so far and what that has looked like for me in regards to socializing, particularly at work events as well and different functions. But I look forward to chatting with you more. If you have any questions or any comments about that, comment on our YouTube channel or send me a message. And I'll talk to you next time. Go make some strides.